This is Moriah from the Kentucky Reptile Zoo, and here I'm going to be reacting to a copperhead extraction video. So let's go. First and foremost, I will introduce you to the species a little bit. We have two copperhead species here in the United States. We have the eastern copperhead, which is a Chistrodon contortrix, and then we have the western copperhead, which is a Chistrodon laticinctus.
People think that rattle.
As these guys are found in the eastern part of the United States, their range is from the Florida Panhandle to north to Massachusetts and west to Nebraska. So a little bit everywhere.
Just to show people that they don't always rattle.
Copperheads are also pit vipers, so snakes that have heat-sensitive pit organs between their eye and their nostril on each side of their head. And these pits detect minute differences in temperature in their environment, including sources of warmth that turn out to be prey for the snakes. And pit vipers are mostly nocturnal. Copperheads are some of the most commonly encountered venomous snakes in North America. That's a little debatable. They are responsible for more bites in the US than any other snake species. However, those bites are rarely fatal, so they're more responsible for the non-fatal bites by a venomous snake in the US. Copperheads have hemotoxic and cytotoxic properties, which means it's going to destroy blood and tissue. If a human were to get bit, effects may include redness, swelling, tingling, and sadly a lot of pain.
I appreciate that. I've had people...
As you can see here though, we are extracting venom from these guys, and that's because their venom has a protein in it, which has shown to inhibit the growth of tumors in breast cancer. So they're currently using copperhead snake venom as a form of medical research, which is so cool. They also have a lot of ecological benefits as well. They are great to have living in your backyard because it's nature's free pest control. Just be aware that it's there and leave the snake alone. The benefits of having a copperhead near your house is that they eat a lot of species that we don't like mice and rats. That can cause diseases and a lot of problems. And by eating a lot of rodents, snakes are swallowing a lot of ticks, and ticks cause things like Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Lyme disease. One study actually showed that snakes are significant tick destroyers in eastern forest sites. So if you do find a copperhead in your backyard, leave it alone. It's doing its job, and it's better to have those guys around than some pesky mice. So copperheads are distinctly patterned. Their bodies are distinctly patterned. The best way to describe it is that their dorsal pattern is a series of chestnut, brown, dark, reddish browns cross bands, each in the shape of like a hourglass or a dumbbell or even a saddlebag. And that is on a background of a lighter brown, tan, salmon, or pinkish color. Several other non-venomous species of snakes have similar colorings, and so they are frequently confused with copperheads. But copperheads are the only kinds of snakes with those hourglass markings. Copperheads do have muscular, thick bodies and keeled or ridged scales. Their heads are somewhat triangular, arrow-shaped, and it's distinct from their neck. And they also have pupils that are vertical, so they're like cat eyes, look just like cat eyes. Their irises are usually orange, tan, or reddish brown, so that color varies. The reason why they have vertical pupils to begin with is because they are nocturnal, and so having pupils like that help the animal adapt to nocturnal life. So they are asleep during the daytime and they're more active during the nighttime, very similarly to cats. So young copperheads, newborns especially, you may see that they actually have a yellow or greenish yellow tail, like the tips of their tail are that color. And that actually gradually fades with age. And the reason why they have it is sometimes it serves as a self-defense mechanism, but having those yellow tails also helps them catch food. So they wiggle it around kind of like a lure. It attracts things like bugs, like cicadas, sometimes fish, and other small mammals that they eat. And using that lure, like tail, that's how they catch their food. So
they didn't expect a 60-year-old man to be doing the splits and kicking a 200-pound bag. And I literally, the prosthetic just took a chunk out of it. I got metal poisoning. So my last replacement of the knee was 6 months ago. And then
another cool thing they can do with their tail is that they actually can vibrate their tail. So very similar to a rattlesnake or other colubrid snake species, they can vibrate the ends or the tip of their tail. And the reason why they do that is a defensive response to a threat, such as a potential predator. How rattlesnakes have those modified scales that make the sound, what copperheads do when they vibrate their tail, when it's in leaf litter, like fallen leaves, it produces a loud sound that can be distracting or alerting a potential predator that they're there and to leave them alone. So, and the muscles that they have in their tail are actually the fastest moving muscles of all land vertebrates. And so when they're vibrating the end of their tail, it's actually faster than hummingbird wings.
Yeah, I just went in for a class, trained with them,
and usually most good dojos, any martial art, will allow you to at least do one practice. You know, one practice for free. Hey, Tyson, you need to warn us because as soon as they move in, the snake shoots towards you. Okay. Okay? Call on the radio before you come in next time. Okay. You can have them come in now. Yeah, you got it. Just for future references for you too. It's something you wouldn't think about because you don't think they're going to react to something like that, but they do.
So we talked about the type of venom that copperheads have and what it does to a potential prey item, but I think it's important to talk about the actual fangs itself and how that venom gets into its prey. So they have two large venom conducting fangs that are secured to the upper jawbone at the front of the mouth. They are movable and fold against the roof of the mouth when not in use. A fleshy sheath covers each fang when the mouth is closed. These fangs also shed periodically. Each socket develops a replacement fangs located in the gum behind the functional fang, and each fang is connected to the venom gland. In addition to their enlarged fangs, they do have many curved, smaller teeth located on the palate and lower jaw.
The more people that have animals around and don't treat them like any other virus, it's going to mutate to be worse. So, and there is no treatment for paramyxiovirus. We call it, it's basically like AIDS in the sense that you don't die from it. The snake doesn't die from it. What it dies from is what it allows it to get. They get a pneumonia, there's all kinds of stuff that goes wrong. That's a female. That's a hunker. She might be gravid already.
She was not paired up.
She wasn't?
No.
Was she paired up last year in the fall? Do you know?
I'm not sure if it's Tyson.
She's going to drop slugs, so she's going to poop on me big time here in a second. That's pretty high up for just poop. So she's either ovulating or she's... So if you have a male, throw a male with her.
Okay.
Just in case. And she really looks... She's really... The biggest problem, too, I see in captivity is morbidly obese snakes. Once, especially with crowlins, once they start showing that they're morbidly obese, they've already formed fat around the heart, and they'll die of a heart attack. We tried to grow, back when I was like 18, we tried to grow South American rattlesnakes up really fast, and what happened was they all started dying all of a sudden. And that's because we did necropsies on them, and it turned out that every one of them had fat around the heart because we were trying to grow them too fast. Now, elapids can get fat, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
a basic, it's like a con artist. You get a little bit of truth and you do that. So, but yeah, I kind of practice like I did in the martial arts, and that is that I practice my Moriah, which is the distance I can actually hit a person and they can't hit me. The same thing here, I try to use that same thing for knowing when I'm at the right distance where I can get them and they can't get me. Some people say, why do you use such a short hook? Well, if I use too long of a hook to pin, if I come in from the top, when you go down to pick them up, you let pressure off the hook. So you have to slide your hand down and get to the animal. And when you do that, the pressure comes off. So then you end up having the animal get away from you while your hand's in a really bad position. Actually, the worst place is the release. Because when you're releasing your split second, your hand is right next to their mouth. And there's just that little bit of room for...
I know, because I take kids out on hikes and, I'll pull up a gardener and yeah, I get bit, usually I know how quick it can happen.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that is an issue with when you're doing the extractions and stuff. This one's getting a little too.
So you just do this every couple of weeks? You come here and do this? Are you a part of this exactly organization, or are they?
I founded this one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You're the main guy.
I started extracting 48 years ago. I did it even when I was a cop and a paramedic. And I got run over by a stolen car when I was 26. I got forced into taking a retirement. I got 20% of my pension. And I decided that I wanted to continue doing this. So I moved down here, and a gentleman had a building up next to where the Mexican restaurant is now. And he let me stay there for a year and do a little exhibit to see if it would work. I slept on a concrete floor in the back, and I took the same amount of pay I take now, which is nothing. I still live off of that 20% of my pension.
Good for you. You're amazing.
I just couldn't just give up. Overall, for me, I had to be doing something. But this is something that I don't like to see people suffer. And even when I was a cop, I was always called the hippie cop because I always tried to help people. The kid that almost killed me actually lived in my basement for a while. And he was one of martial arts. I was trying to get through to him. But he was on PCP when he ran me over. He didn't know who I was. You know, but it has the same effect. I'm dead, and you know, I'm not dead, but they had to use a defibrillator on me. Started extracting venom was because the old mentality was you bring the snake in, you milk it until it dies, which is like 6 months, and I thought that was inhumane. And from a scientific standpoint, it really doesn't make sense because you can't replicate what you just did. So I started breeding them. I bred king cobras starting when I was 17. And I actually graduated high school when I was 17 and started extracting venom when I was 17. The other problem we have here is they don't do prescribed birds. So, and that,
I'm part of that, yeah, we do that.
yeah, you know, people don't realize how important that
You
is.
have to have money towards it.
Yeah, money too. Yeah, our state is not, they don't spend a whole lot on their state parks. They just,
Yeah, I worked for a little while at petting zoo. So I was able to take snakes out to let people touch. I always thought it was strange that like a lot of people would say, "You don't want to touch
this is
it,
the
it's
real
slimy."
dark
And I would say, "Why do you think it's slimy?"
Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Dark ones are gorgeous.
yeah. You guys see this? You saw the other copperheads that are from around here. This one is, God, this one's really old. I can't remember now how old it is. It's over 30 some years old. But it was caught down behind the, it was caught down behind the Miguel's. And it's been father to a bunch of snakes. Ah, he just bit the side down. No, he didn't. He just bit that.
Now, how do you know it's not going to lunge at you?
Well, I don't. And I keep it, it's, this is definitely female. There's one. This one?
Yeah.
When we were in Pisgah, there was a snake that kind of looked like a garter, but if you go in the water,
Mhm.
what do you think that was?
Oh man, there's a bunch of
We
Kalute.
had lines.
It had lines.
It
It's-
had like light lines every, you know.
There are a ton. So did you guys, how'd you end up down here?
Well, first we came down near Charlotte because he has his first grandbaby, and there was a big family get
Congratulations.
together, big party. We stayed at a wonderful campground near there.
Okay.
And then we stayed in Tisca National Forest for 4 nights. And then we're on our way back home. Today's my birthday, so we decided to stop here and stay at the campground here.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if they told you, the state park's on fire.
What?
The state park up here is on fire.
Oh.
Yeah. This is our weekend that we do a herpetology weekend with Fish and Wildlife and the forestry and the state park. And we don't know if we're having it, but it's like being all moved around because the place where it was supposed to be at is closed because the fire is close by. It might be just as big. We need to talk to Chris.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more KRZ videos, and don't forget to hit the bell so you know when it's happening. Follow us on social media at KY Reptile Zoo for more scaly content. Lastly, come visit us in Slade, Kentucky, and check out our website at kyreptilezoo.com for merch and booking programs.